Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Windland Adventure Resort. So today is finally the day we get back into this park. I know it's been over a month since the last episode and you guys have patiently been waiting, and I do appreciate your patience. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for sticking around if you're still around. And we hopefully should not be waiting another month for the next episode. I had a lot going on with a lot of my tooth pain. I did get my wisdom teeth removed about 2 weeks ago, and I had to recover from that. So it's been a whole deal. And now that I got all that taken care of, I've fully recovered already now, and we're ready to get back into the swing of things. I've been almost nonstop working on stuff each and every day here on the channel, whether it be live streams or working and getting these episodes out to you guys. The new DLC pack is out now, so I was working on a mini project off to the side the last week on that, but we did finally get enough footage done to get an episode out here today. And a lot of this footage is from different updates of the game. So when I was first starting on this episode, I think we hadn't had the gift shops for very long, so I started to add a modular gift shop in here, and that's what this is we're actually adding a modular gift shop to the CityWalk here, which is going to be leading up to the entrance of the park. So everything you're seeing here is going to lead up to the entrance of the Universe Adventure theme park, which is going to be the dry park. Obviously we got the water park done, but now we need to focus on the dry park. I know you guys are very excited, and you guys are probably going to be more excited so for the next episode, because that's when we get inside of the dry park. Today we're going to be working on the entrance and leading up to the entrance of the dry park, which is obviously going to be heavily inspired by Epic Universe, Islands of Adventure, and so on and so forth. It's going to be a fantastic deal, and you guys aren't going to want to miss the next few episodes, because we are going to be getting into some big stuff, including the Viking section, which will be the first major themed area that we are going to be working on after we get into the entrance area. So next episode will probably focus a lot on the entrance area. Maybe the entrance to the Viking section is kind of like what I'm going to be going for on the next episode, is we're going to try and get like the little entrance area with like some buildings, maybe some gift shops, and maybe even a restaurant or so, and potentially maybe like, I don't know if we want to do something like constellation carousels, just maybe some centerpiece of some sort, just on the inside entrance of that the entrance of the park. So because the central hub is going to be in a whole area of itself, kind of like Epic Universe, which is Celestial Park. So we're going to do something similar to that and have just like a nice beautiful entrance area, and it will feature maybe a couple of rides as well, just kind of like Epic Universe does. And for those that keep asking, is this inspired a lot by Epic Universe? Yes it is. I mean, once you see the entrance, yeah, you can definitely tell it takes a lot of inspiration from Epic Universe, but also little hints of Islands of Adventure is also in there as well. So it is a huge project, and there's going to be so much to do inside this park, and I'm so excited that we got the sorcery pack, because that's going to help out a lot with some of my builds, and I'm sure we'll get more DLC as time goes along that will probably help us out also as well, because obviously this isn't going to be done within the next 3 months. I'd imagine it's going to take me quite a bit of time to keep going. So, and those asking me about doing a challenge park, because I know a lot of people enjoyed the challenge park in Planet Coaster 1. People keep asking me if I'm going to be doing a challenge park for Planet Coaster 2 now that we have the challenge mode addition into the game. And I got to be honest, I haven't touched the challenge mode just yet in the new update, but I will be doing that at some point. But as for the answer, yes, I will be doing a challenge park at some point, but it's not going to be right away, mostly because I've already got 2 major projects going on right now that I really want to focus on, and I don't want to overwhelm myself with 3 projects all at the exact same time. So these projects being obviously Windland Adventure Resort and the Silver Dollar City recreation. Two of the biggest projects I've ever done in Planet Coaster in general. So I want to focus on getting at least one of these done, and then we can get the challenge park going. That will be the next major addition. So it will be the next major project on my channel once we get there. With that being said, for me to get there, I'm going to have to finish one of these parks, which might take some time. So it's still going to be probably a little bit, and I know people want it right now, and you guys really want to see that, and I understand why you want to see that, because it was such a big part of my channel in Planet Coaster 1 with that park, that challenge park. You guys enjoyed that so much, and I got so many subscribers from it. So yes, I do want to do that again and get a challenge park going again soon. Now, again, I don't know when that will be, and I'm going to try and stay consistent and trying to get the and try and finish what I have going right now. So I hope you guys understand why I'm going to be waiting just a little bit, because I do want to focus on my major projects and get at least one of them done. If I get one of them done, I'll go ahead and start a new challenge park. I've actually got some ideas pop into my head of what I'm going to do for that challenge park, and some are actually really cool. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. So I have some kind of brainstorming ideas. So I'm in a way kind of in the planning phase of for that challenge park, and I know you guys want to see it so much, and that's why I'm talking about it so much, because I know you guys are very eager and excited now that we have challenge mode in Planet Coaster 2. You guys are excited to see if I do a challenge park, which of course I will. Now, again, I don't know if I can handle 3 projects at the same time, so again, it might not be right away, but rest assured, guys, I do plan on doing one, and I know you guys are going to be excited for that, and you guys, a lot of people see it as kind of a tutorial on how to build in Planet Coaster 2, or at Planet Coaster in general as well, so it's actually kind of cool that you guys do take inspiration and actually view it in that sort of way. So my question to you guys is, I'm going to try and start getting early data from what you guys want to see, and I need some feedback for a challenge park. I want to hear your guys' feedback of what you want to see in that. What can I do to change it up to improve and make it a really cool series? So I think to make it a really cool series, obviously it's going to have a little bit of a storyline, and we're going to obviously build up a bit of a story for that. I think it would be really cool. I know you guys enjoyed the live streams and videos that I did for that, and I guess my question is, do you guys want it to be a hybrid of live streams and videos, or should I just keep it as videos, or what should we do there? And there's kind of just so many options, directions I can go with it, but I really just want to hear you guys' feedback on how I can accomplish that. So, and again, I'm very much early on in, trying to plan what I want to do for it, and I think I have a really cool idea that I think you guys will enjoy, hopefully, as much as I think it will be cool. So yeah, that's going to be that. Let's talk about what's going on screen, shall we? So obviously we got that gift shop underneath, but we're also doing a little bit of a restaurant on top of it as a little balcony, which I thought was kind of a cool idea. And this building was based off one of the buildings in CityWalk, so that's kind of where I'm pulling the inspiration from. But I kind of made it my own by putting like a little restaurant up there and such like that. So it's really cool. I think this restaurant is going to be pretty cool, having a little balcony up there and some seating to kind of look over the guests down below, and it's got some really nice building pieces going on into it. So very awesome and exciting on how that's going to go. I think it turned out pretty epic, actually, so pretty cool. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on how this building turned out. We have another building we're going to work on here in a little bit as well after this for the CityWalk. Now, I had to obviously build a little bit more of CityWalk before we built the actual entrance to the park. So because obviously we can't just have a blank pathway leading up to there, so I wanted to make sure there was plenty of stuff leading up to it. So we had to build a little bit of a build up to get over to the park. I had to go over a little bit because we have to be able to fit like the Viking area in that space, and all that and everything. So in case you guys have not remembered what parts of the park or different themed areas we're going to have in this, we'll go over that right now. So obviously we are going to have the central hub, which is going to have kind of a spacey modern kind of theme going forward. It's not it's just going to be more of the beautiful spot that connects all of the areas together. And of course we have the Viking section, which is going to be the first section we work on. We're also going to have a western section, a steampunk section, and kind of a spooky dark area, kind of like Darkmoor, which I'm very excited to work on as well. The sorcery pack's going to help a lot with that, because you can create spooky stuff with that. I'm very, very excited for that. So getting into the next phase here, as you can see, we do kind of create a little bit of a path leading over here, and I wanted to kind of get a head start on the entrance plaza for this part of the park. You'll see that we kind of I just kind of wanted to get to the area. I wanted to get to the spot where I want the entrance at, and then build everything in between it to kind of get started. So I wanted to get a little bit started on the entrance here a little early for that, and it looks pretty cool. So with that being said, then I also wanted to create a nice or a really cool like bridge that leads up over into this area, so we can actually have a really cool bridge leading up in to the park entrance, kind of like how it is up to Islands of Adventure. You have to go. There's like multiple bridges in CityWalk, but I wanted to kind of get a similar feel to that, which would be pretty darn cool. Now, this whole area, this whole section is a little bit inspired by the Islands of Adventure entrance. So I wanted to do a little bit of a mixture of Islands of Adventure inspiration mixed with Epic Universe inspiration here. So we have a little adventure tower that is going to feature different themes on it, which is kind of like the touch I put on this tower. So you're going to see a few aspects of theming based on all the different themed areas. So like attached to it, you'll see here in a little bit that we do attach some stuff for different sections. So obviously the gear is going to be for steampunk. We're also going to put a pipe in there, I think, as well. And then also a few things for the Viking section. So we're going to do some Viking theming on the tower. And also we have the Western section where we're going to add a few Western elements next to this tower as well. We're just to have, so there's just going to be so many like all the different themes into one, you know. It kind of gives you a little taste of those different themes. And then of course the steampunk section is going to have like the piping theming and such like that, so made sure that we're going to have something like that. And then this is before we had the sorcery DLC, so I didn't have the sorcery DLC just yet. Obviously this was before it came out and before I had access to it, so I did use these little pirate skulls to kind of get that little spooky vibe for that themed area. So but yeah, we got a lot of Viking stuff, obviously, because we have the Viking theme, we have a Western theme. We don't have a steampunk theme, but you can make it work with a mixture of different themes, kind of like the aquatic theme kind of helps because it has a lot of pipes and stuff like that. And then we also have like the gears as well, which also help and act for those also as well. And then of course we wanted to put the Universe Adventure logo on top of the tower, and that is kind of like where I get started on this entrance, just to kind of get it a good little start. It turned out pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with it. And then I decided to put like these different benches that all have different theming for the different sections. We'll get back to that later on. But I was like, man, I gotta really work on the blankness that is here. So I wanted to do like a nice little bridge leading up to this area, and we're gonna bring the water over and actually have the water go underneath the bridge, going in over. So we had to bring the terrain over and make it go underneath to create an actual bridge, to make sure it actually is a bridge. So we had to have that, and then of course we kind of continued on the rounding path theme that is up against the water. And I felt like this was too open of an area, so I knew I had to build another building right here of some sorts in the middle of that plaza kind of area. But before we get into that, we're gonna kind of work on this bridge a little bit, get some fencing up, some neat fencing and support structure for this bridge as well, which is definitely based off of some of the bridges in CityWalk at Universal in the first place. So yeah, again, in case you couldn't find out, this park is obviously definitely inspired a lot by the Universal resorts overall. So the hotels, the the CityWalk section, and then the parks themselves are very heavily inspired for sure. And I get people asking all the time, how do you get better at building in Planet Coaster? And really, it's just honestly finding that inspiration of the parks that you want to replicate, and really just getting inspiration from other parks. And I think parks in real life actually do that as well. They get inspiration from some of the parks they visited and they make it their own. So yes, you want to go in and create something unique and different, but you still want to find that inspiration and base it off of something, And I think the best way to do that is just to fire up Google and maybe go to Street View, find some buildings you like in some theme parks, and really base it off of those things, and make it and give it your own flair and give it your own touch, like just make it something similar, but also make it unique to your park as well. So like this bridge, yes, I based it off of something, but I made it my own still. It's not exactly the same, but it does have its own uniqueness to it at the same time. So that's really honestly how you get better at building in Planet Coaster. And honestly, if you do want to get better, sometimes doing recreations of real buildings is a good start, because you kind of learn how to make buildings more realistic if you are recreating real buildings in the game. So I always say, if you want to get better, try and do a few recreations of some stuff. Go into a theme park on Google, go into Street View, and just try and build buildings that you want to kind of learn to build. If you find a restaurant in a park, kind of recreate it, and then eventually you'll start, giving it your own kind of spin, and it becomes your own. It becomes more unique to yourself. So that's basically the best way I can describe it. That's how I've been doing my buildings, is just kind of, in a way, recreating something that I see, but I also make it slightly different, kind of like copy my homework, but change a few words, that's kind of like, that's kind of the idea of it, but yeah, so I wanted to put in a building in this section because I didn't want it all to be just an open plaza. I wanted to fill it in with something. So we come up with this kind of building. I think, I'm not entirely sure what the building's going to be. It's going to be some sort of restaurant / cafe kind of building. It's not functional yet. I haven't put anything in it just yet. It's just the building as of right now with some tables on the outside. It could really just be for show at this point, but I wanted to do like a slanted roof. I don't do many modern stuff like this very often, so I was like, I wanted to make something look somewhat modern, so I did kind of like this interesting slanted roof, just kind of hovering over the top, and I think it turned out pretty cool. And then I wanted to do some like actual utilize some of the glass pieces that we got not too long ago as well, and add in those for the windows here. So it's just kind of like a big window, kind of a big window wall here, kind of going for this building, which is pretty cool. And I think this was pretty cool. Like, again, I like building modern stuff, and sometimes they can be a bit of a challenge because it's not just your typical building pieces you can use for stuff like this. You got to do like sometimes you do the slanted roofs, kind of like I did right here. And a lot of stuff uses a lot of glass pieces as well, so that was also a big challenge, especially with the tilted roof as well. You also had to keep that and factor that into account as well. But it ended up turning out pretty solid, and I'm pretty happy with how this building kind of turned out. It's pretty cool. So that would just, again, help fill in this area for the buildings, to fill in this building. This building fills in this area for the CityWalk area. And then of course I did like this little cover, which will have some nice seating areas as well, and give it a different angle, and boom, you got something pretty cool and modern. And then obviously got to get some nice columns going in and just add some details to that roof. So yeah, I think this turned out pretty cool, and these two buildings really add a good amount of style, and help fill in, the leading up to our big entrance area, which I know you guys are dying for me to get into, and we're almost there. We just got to finish up a few things here to get into that entrance area. I'm trying to do one section at a time as best as I can, kind of like the Silver City recreation. I don't want to jump around a lot. I want to try and finish what I'm doing before I move on into the next area. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to keep that philosophy because I think it helps pace myself and actually get stuff done, rather than a little stuff done here, a little stuff done there, and then nothing ever ends up getting finished. I wait until at least everything's finished, and then I go back and maybe add some finishing touches or stuff that I want to add on that maybe I decided to that I didn't get to, or just to try and get it looking a lot better. So yeah, so this building, again, I would probably say it's kind of like some sort of cafe, maybe. Potentially, we might put like a latte love in there. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe something along those lines. I'm not sure. I haven't really decided completely yet on what I wanted to do with it entirely. So, because we haven't put anything in it just yet, but we do have some pathing that we need to get kind of done and finished in this area as well, because obviously it's still kind of a lot of terrain that's still kind of sitting in there that we need to finish up. So I always say utilizing a lot of planters and stuff does help out to try and kind of shape up what you're going for here, and then get some foliage and scenery to kind of beautify it up a little bit, because I think having a lot of trees and flowers, plants, really does make a park look really, really nice overall. And then if you have open walls, just put something on them. I just put those something simple like those posters, and call it good. So, and then just utilizing like rock and terrain and stuff to kind of actually clean up some of those edges and pieces and everything like that. So yeah, it turned out pretty solid leading up to this bridge, and just trying to fill in a lot of these pieces in this little overlook. And yeah, that's where we're at on that, and just kind of getting stuff looking good there as we go into the next clip, because now we have to fill in all of the pathing here. So I kind of just take the paths and just fill them in with a different texture to kind of give this building kind of like a nice little outline. And I think that turned out pretty cool. And then put in some planters here and there. That's just kind of like how we operate here. Just put in some planters to kind of fill in those spaces. I think that actually helps out quite a bit. And just because you don't want to have just paths. You want to throw in some planters here and there, just to kind of get some good vibes going here. So it really just kind of adds a little bit more when you do have different sections like this with bushes, trees, and just to fill into the middle. You know, you could have open paths, but you know, I think it just adds so much when you do like add like planters and just stuff that is beautiful. Honestly, it just adds a lot of beauty to your park. So because open paths can be boring, you want to give your paths some character and really just kind of flow them around with some curves and really make them look nice instead of just everything being paths, you know. And of course, adding some green and some, you know, flowers and color to your paths really is never a bad thing. So, and then this also gives you the opportunity to add more benches, lights, and such like that in those kind of like curb sections and such. So really do recommend when you're building your parks, definitely go in and add a little bit of this to your park, like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So just to get those. And I love these stone pieces. I use them a lot for these kind of things. And you can recolor them to whatever color you want, because we do have the short pieces that allow you to do kind of like the rounded edges, and they're very useful and versatile. Overall, I wanted to put in some trees, but nothing too tall, because I don't want to block too much of the skylines of some of those buildings. So we wanted to make sure that we had those kind of in place, and then everything just kind of starts to come together after we connect everything here. So I had a point where we had to get to, and then I filled in the middle, and now we are starting to get to the entrance of the Dry Park Universe Adventure. So that will lead us into here, and we will start on our front gate quite a bit. So I was trying to look through the archways to see, like, I really want to see if we can create like a portal, kind of like Epic Universe. And we did just that using this aquatic piece, but I did want to try and cover up a few things to make it kind of cover up a few of the aquatic themed pieces. I mainly just wanted that rounded archway for this entrance because it looks fantastic, and I think it works honestly pretty well overall. So just to try and cover it up, I wasn't too sure about how I was feeling about this entrance at first, but once we started getting it together, it started to grow on me quite a bit, and then I kind of accepted, like, okay, this is actually pretty solid, you know. And obviously I was looking at a reference of Epic Universe's entrance, and I wanted to replicate it somewhat, but also, again, still make it my own. I love the color combination of the gold and green, so I did kind of stick with that quite a bit. I could have changed it up, the colors, a little bit to kind of make it a little different, but I decided to keep that. Of course, we have our Universe Adventure logo here in the middle, and I was working on one side, and then my idea was to copy that to the other side once we get that entrance gate kind of going, and just have like 3 spots where you can enter the park, the big entrance in the middle, and then there's going to be 2 entry gates on either side as well, which does to help with crowd congestion. Obviously, you don't want to just have one spot to enter, you need to have multiple overall. And then, of course, we got to build some guest service buildings eventually as well, once we get along there. And this first clip, I don't believe I had the sorcery pack. At the very end of this video, we end up with the sorcery pack because it just released, and I was like, okay, now I can finally utilize that sorcery pack, which is what we do here. But yeah, I always notice that I do have too many times where I have clips where I'm just the footage is sitting here, and that's mostly because I have to go up get up and do something, and I should usually I'm gonna start. I should start stopping the clips, so that way it doesn't have to do. You're not sitting there for like a full minute of just frozen screen. I do that the reason why that happens is because like I don't want to end the recording because I feel like I hadn't recorded that much already, and then like I want to have least amount of clips as possible, but I need to start doing that, either clipping them out or just start stopping recording when I'm away from the computer. So I need to do better in that. I do have to get better in that. And since I've already started recording the audio here, I probably can't really remove it very well. So we're gonna have to live with that this time. But yeah, I need to do better with that. And I'm sure it's probably annoying for you guys. But anyways, we had to get this is gonna be obviously a nice service building, which is guest service building, which is really cool. And yeah, so that's going to be the guest service. We're going to replicate that on the other side in a nice symmetrical way, and that will be pretty nifty. And we have this gate. I didn't want it to be like square edges, so I wanted to have like a rounded gate here to really kind of give a character. I just felt like it needed to be rounded, so we ended up going with some arch shapes for this and scaled them down a little bit to kind of create like this archway for this to give it a little bit more character, and I think it turned out pretty good. So and I knew it needed a little bit extra because instead of being blank, so we went with this gold gate from the mythology theme, which turned out really good, and it was a nice little accent. I was like, I'm gonna add this in other places because it was a nice little accent to that green, and I still love the color combination of the green and gold. It looks so good, and yeah, so that turned out pretty cool, and I like how that looked overall. So that is what we rolled with, and we had to get it also to where we can copy it to the other side. So I wanted to make sure it was easy enough to do that, and it was pretty simple. So, and then in the center, I wanted to create like this tower, kind of like you see in the Epic Universe entrance as well, to create like this little central tower, which looks pretty cool. And we're gonna put like from the sorcery pack, the little rotating piece you'll see there in a little bit, but in these clips I didn't have the sorcery pack available to me just yet, so you'll see that here shortly, which is pretty cool. So really like the sorcery pack, and it helps a lot, and that piece, I knew I was going to put that piece in there. So but we'll get to that later on. We still have to get the central piece in here for the top, and that will kind of round off the entrance gate as well. It looks pretty cool. And I had to add a little bit going in. I just wanted to keep adding some more fine details to this, and also give it kind of some shaping to it also as well. So went with like these diagonal pieces that kind of go across like that to kind of give that structure a nice unique kind of shape to it also as well. And then again, using more of those fencing pieces. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think about this entrance, if it's too much, too less, or too close to being too close to oh gosh, the name Epic Universe's entrance, or maybe the colors kind of make it a little bit close, but I love the color scheme of the green and gold overall. But yeah, this is going to be guest service building. I tried to do also a little bit of interior work on this building, but right now it's just I'm not great at interior. I need to get better at interior, and I think the best way for me to get better is just to find some references for that interior, so to utilize that interior, which would be great. So but for right now, we're going to stick with what we got right here, and I think it turned out pretty good. So pretty solid. And I wanted to add some like decorations of the interior with like just a lot of the logos and everything, because it is very bland in here, and I had to do something. So for the interior, I didn't really go based off anything, but like I wanted to add some different things here and there just to try and spice it up a little bit and make it not too boring, but ended up being slightly boring. So so yeah, we got the logos, and of course I had to light it up in here because the global illumination actually makes the interiors pretty dark, so you do have to make sure you light it up quite a bit. I still think I might end up adding more lights in these because it is still kind of dim in here. You know, the lights don't always put out a lot of... I kind of think it would be cool if Frontier implemented a feature into the lights themselves where you can actually change the strength and make it like where you can make it super bright and it can actually cover a lot more ground, or you can dim them out. I think it'd be really nice to be able to control the strength of the lights. I think that would actually be pretty awesome if Frontier could figure out something like that. But in the meantime, you can just add more lights to kind of strengthen it. That's kind of like the workaround there if we do that. So I did want to put in some air ducts up here, and I have been like scaling them down a little bit because they are pretty big in game, but having the scaling tool has been obviously such a huge lifesaver in that regard. So now it's time to go ahead and copy it on over to the other side so we have a nice symmetrical entrance with our guest service buildings. I think those are really cool. Now, the only thing I don't like about them is I made them very square, but I did add a lot of detail to them. But I feel like the square is kind of what I had went with, but we could add more onto them potentially, but I think I'm going to keep it the way it is for right now. But as you can see, we have the sorcery pack implemented into here using like the big rotating thing. I forgot what the name of it was, but it looks cool and it goes into the entrance. So we have a little bit of animation and going into that entrance as well. So you actually have something moving at all times, which is something that's really cool about this entrance. I just like seeing stuff move, just kind of like the Epic Universe entrance. I think it's cool to have something that is animated and moves, and just it really spices up the entrance a lot. So yeah, to finish things out here, we are going to put in these planters to kind of round out the entrance area, put some more foliage, scenery, and obviously some trees in play, because you can never have too many trees and foliage. It really just kind of beautifies your park a little bit more, and I will always make sure my parks have a lot of trees. That's just how my parks are, okay? So I love implementing a lot of greenery and trees into my parks. It fills the gaps quite a bit. It's really, really nice. So when we do go into our next episode, we probably will get into the entrance area, you know, right inside the entrance, and hopefully get up to the entrance to the Vikings section. That's going to be my goal for the next episode, and we'll see how we get there. So, but yeah, these last little bits of details is going to be the end of this episode. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. Let me know in the comments section if you really did enjoy. Do you like how this entrance looks, or was there something you guys would do different? I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, and see, because there's still stuff I could potentially change on this entrance. I like it, but there's still a few more things to like touch-ups wise, so that we still have time to fix those things. And I promise the next episode won't be as long as this one took, because again, just had so much going on. I had a surgery with my wisdom teeth and had to recover from that, so I was out for a little bit, just, you know, not doing anything for a bit, just resting. So, but I'm back to 100% now, back into it, and I'm so excited because my goal is to try and stay as consistent as possible from now on. So now that I don't have to worry about tooth pain, and it's been such a relief getting those wisdom teeth out, so I don't have to worry about tooth pain anymore. And yeah, and then the last thing we do here is the staff building and this backstage area. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that, and we'll get into the real-time section here in a second and go over everything that we did in real time. So I will see you guys then, and enjoy this last bit of the time lapse. So let's get into that, and I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, we are here in Windland Adventure Resort in the real-time section of the video where we're going to go over kind of everything that has been worked on here today. So we start off things here in the entrance of the universe adventure. So this is basically, obviously, if you haven't been able to realize it, this is obviously heavily inspired by the Epic Universe entrance quite a bit. I'm still going to be doing some finishing touches. As you can see, it's kind of open up here. We're gonna probably do something with the top here still. I haven't decided exactly what I want to try and top it off with. Maybe just like close this up potentially, and then maybe put something on the top of it. But as you can see, we did use, if I go into here, you can actually see we did use the archway here from, I think it's the aquatic theme, which has like that nice circular entrance archway, which really resembles the portal from Epic Universe, the different portals from Epic Universe. So I thought that'd be really nice, a nice touch to utilize that. And then we put on some 2 gates on the outside as well. And then if we go over here, we did create a nice little bridge over the water, body of water here. And of course, we did work on these first, which are a few new buildings for the CityWalk area that leads up into this entrance. So we do have this big gift shop in here, which is the one of the resort gift shops, which will just sell a lot of various gift shops. And then of course we put a nice little restaurant on the top of the building as well. You have to go up and down these stairs to get to it. I also made sure there was ADA accessibility. This would be utilized as a elevator, and you would come off on that side. So pretty neat, and I think this building actually turned out pretty good. I put a lot of effort into it, and it was a lot of inspired by one of the buildings in CityWalk. And then we have kind of like this more modern, I guess this kind of looks like it's going to be some sort of restaurant of some sorts, or just some cafe maybe, or something, with a few seats right there, kind of overlooking the body of water over here as well, which will, on the other side, we'll have the Viking area, which will be very exciting also, just to see that across the water. And we did start a little bit on the rock work that's going to go around here, but I'm going to wait until we get into the Viking section to close this up, just in case we do want some of this water to go into the Viking section, because we might actually want some of this water to come across into that area that is actually connected to it. So I think that would be a really good addition to sites and such, just utilizing that. But yeah, we got all the way over here, so let's kind of go over this tower. This tower is going to have obviously some aspects and theming from each of the themed areas. So we have a western themed spot, we have steampunk, we have like the spooky dark area, and then the Viking theme. So you can kind of see that we're utilizing all the themes on this tower. This is kind of inspired a little bit off of the Islands of Adventure kind of tower entrance. So I kind of mixed that in with the Epic Universe inspired entrance here. So it's kind of got a few mixtures of themings going on here. And these 2 buildings off to the side are like guest services, and just some generic little buildings there off to the side of each of those. So Very, very cool. And then this is going to be a backstage area with a little bit of a staff room. So the staff have a place to rest, and that's basically kind of like a break room for our staff. And that's going to have a backstage area kind of right here. Once we get into the park, see where that kind of leads into. We might even actually have a little gate here where where our employees can access this, and we'll have staff only paths back there for our staff. It'd be really, really cool. But yeah, that's what we basically got going on this episode. And when we do come back, we are going to start on the main little plaza square entrance here of the dry park, and then that will lead us into the Viking section. So very excited, very stoked to get into that, because it's what we've all been waiting for, is to be getting into the dry park, because there's going to be so much cool stuff on the inside there. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for your patience. The next episode should hopefully not take as long, because now that I'm back into the swing of things after being fully recovered from my wisdom tooth removal surgery, and now we're back getting into these parks and such. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day and a cool tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.